Hey, Jason here. And man, I made a mistake today. One of the things that I'm starting to do is use more advanced marketing as I'm doing these lives and doing just even my videos. You see that I'm doing the um, prosperity prosperity of the day, where it's giving money tip, it's giving an action step. Also doing things when it comes to this live. There's ways that you can possibly increase the reach of your lives when you first start out, but you have to actually do them. I forgot to do it today. One of it is you engage people that you're connected to for about 5 minutes. Then you also put up a little post or something that's engaging, so then it makes people come to you. I forgot to do it today. Actually, because electricity just now came back. I haven't had electricity since yesterday at 7 o'clock at night, and so I was just rushing to get this to you. And today we're going to be still in You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor, but we're going to be talking about the law of vibration and attraction. The law of vibration is a principal law, the law of attraction is a secondary law. So, if you ever seen The Secret, anything like that, this is what it's talking about. Now, this one, I might actually read to you this whole chapter because this is important. Like, this is one of the laws of God. This is one of the laws of creation. We have to understand this as a foundational law of who we are from a spiritual perspective. So let me just go ahead and start reading, and I'm going to read the little the quote. And this quote is from Andrew Carnegie. Any idea that is held in the mind that is either feared or revered will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate physical forms available. This is the same thing as Job. When Job said, "Oh, for the thing that I have feared the most have found me," or whatever, however he said it in the Bible. I don't need to say it verbatim. This is what he's saying. The thing that Job was holding on to is the thing that made him, that came to his life. It had to attract itself. He was vibrating at that frequency because he was holding it in his mind. So now, Dr. Werner von Braun. In an interview with Dr. Werner von Braun in February of 1976, Dr. von Braun was quoted as follows: "After years of probing the spectacular mysteries of the universe, I have been led to a firm belief in the existence of God. The grandeur of the cosmos serves only to confirm my belief in the certainty of a creator. I just cannot envision this whole universe coming into being without something like divine will. The natural laws of the universe are so precise that we have no difficulty building a spaceship to fly to the moon and can time the flight with the precision of a fraction of a second. Though these laws must have been set by somebody." Dr. von Braun went on to say that science and religion, properly understood, are not antagonistic pursuits. On the contrary, he affirmed, they are sister disciplines. Through the scientific method, one learns more about creation, whereas by employing the tools of science, man attempts to harness the forces of nature which surround him. Through religion, on the other hand, he endeavors to control the forces of nature which are at work within him. This is very important. Like, this is why I read the Bible. Like, I read all of these, plus I read quantum physics books, I read science books. Um, I'm gonna show you some of the books I just now purchased today that we're gonna be going over later in a few months. But like, religion and science are not fighting one another; they're actually complementing each other. And when you read them both from non-judgmental viewpoint, you'll actually start seeing they're complementary. And this is what he's saying also. After a brief pause, he added, "There would not be a single great accomplishment in the history of mankind that it that you are still believing in yourself. That is hard. Do you know how easy it is to give up on yourself, or just say, hard? Do you know how easy it is to give up on yourself, or just say, man, maybe I'm just crazy here? My life, when I went to the military, 'cause I used to play football in high school and all of that. I used to be a big guy. People were like, "Oh, you're too fat. You're not gonna be able to lose the weight to get in there." I did it. I had faith in myself. When people told me I wouldn't recover from my injuries physically and mentally from the war, In the military, they was like, oh, you're never going to be better. This is the best you can get. You need to just be happy where you are. I had faith in myself. When I couldn't walk because my leg was messed up, when I couldn't walk because I had nerve damage in my left leg, I had faith in myself that I would be able to do it again. And look at me now. I'm walking. I'm no longer using a cane or having to use a wheelchair or the little mobility chairs to get around the house. When I was told, yo, you'll never be able to breathe on your own. You always need a CPAP machine so you don't stop breathing at night in your sleep. I had faith that I wouldn't need that. I don't use a machine. I haven't used a machine in almost 7 years or 8 years, one of the two. Like, that is how powerful faith is. Like, you have to start getting faith in yourself. You need to believe in yourself. So, years before anyone would accept the idea of a man traveling to the moon and back, Dr. Von Braun was asked, what would it take to make a rocket to reach the moon? He replied simply, the will to do it. He's speaking on our higher faculties. Our higher faculties are very important. These are the things that school are not teaching us. School doesn't teach us about willpower. School doesn't teach us about persistence, memory, imagination, none of those things. School teaches us only to operate in our five senses, and the five senses is the weakest level that we're able to operate in. So then from there, Von Braun was clearly a brilliant man who possessed a great understanding of life and a tremendous awareness of the laws of the universe. In fact, he is considered by many experts in the field to be the father of the space program. Like all great achievers, he had gained a profound insight into the spiritual laws of life. And one of those laws is the law of attraction. The law of attraction, the law of vibration is the primary law. This is the law I would like to delve into now, or dive into. So sometimes when I'm reading some of these words, because it's reading and he's from Canada, he's using some words that we just don't use in America. Like we don't talk about delve into. Indeed, an understanding of this particular law is actually the key to understanding this entire book. The reason this is so is that the law of attraction is the underlying principle which governs the level of your personal prosperity. However, however, to help you achieve a really solid grasp of this concept, it will be necessary for us to focus briefly on another law, namely the law of vibration. This is the primary law of the universe. This is the law that gives us everything that we want or don't want in our life. The law of vibration accounts for the difference between mind and matter, between the physical and the non-physical worlds. This is the power of co-creation. Vibration is the power of co-creation. And we are co-creators, and we co-create with God or whatever you call it, but that is the creator. According to the law of vibration, we must postulate that everything vibrates or moves. Nothing sits idle. Everything is in a constant state of motion, and therefore there is no such thing as inertia or a state of rest. From the most ethereal to the most gross form of matter, everything is in a constant state of vibration. The chair I'm sitting in, it looks like it's still, but it's actually moving. This house is actually moving. If you look at things through a light telescope or a light microscope, you'll see that it's oscillating. It is moving back and forth. Nothing ever sits still. Rates of vibration are called frequencies, and the higher the frequency, the more potent the force. Since thought is one of the highest forms of vibration, it is very potent in nature, and therefore it must be understood by all of us. The most powerful thing that we have the ability to do is to originate thought. We can think however we want to think. No one can take that from you. If you ever read the book, it's Viktor Frankl. I just saw it today because I was going to pick it up. Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. Wonderful book. And it shows while he is during the Holocaust, how he started to realize no matter how much they beat him, tortured him, starved him, nothing could stop him from being able to originate his own thoughts. And even when he was going through some of the worst times, he was thinking about some of the happiest times of his life. Really powerful book, and it showed a lot about what we are truly capable of and how we can truly control our life. Okay, then it says years before anyone would accept the idea of a man. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm past that. The law of vibration accounts for the difference between mind and matter between the physical and non-physical worlds. Uh, Dang, how did I move to the page? I'm sorry. My mind was going off. Like I really love reading this stuff. Here we go. Note the law of vibration may be explained in many different ways, depending upon the purpose for which it is being explained. In this chapter, however, it is our intention to confine our inquiry to the two thoughts alone, so we may thereby improve our understanding of the law of vibration. So now we're going to read the next part, which is titled Vibration. To vibrate means to move backwards and forwards, to oscillate, to shake, to quiver, to swing, to waver, to cause to quiver. To obtain a more graphic conceptualization of the idea of vibration, just stretch out one of your arms straight in front of you, then hold it perfectly still. So like that. While you're holding it still, you are unable to perceive any motion in that arm at all. Know that the electrons which compose the arm are moving, shaking, quivering, or vibrating at the rate of 186,300 miles per second. So even though we look like we're still, everything in our body is continuously moving. Our blood, our electrons, protons, everything is always moving. We're in a constant state of movement. And then it says, now begin to shake your arm. You yourself are now causing the arm to vibrate. It was already vibrating of its own accord in obedience to the law of vibration, which teaches that everything is in constant motion, but you have stepped up or increased the rate of that vibration. You have pushed down on the vibratory accelerator pedal, as it were. Now, this is really interesting because everything vibrates. Our attitude even vibrates. It goes back and forth. But what does it go back and forth to? And this is the next part. Positive and negative personalities. If you have any questions as I'm reading this, feel free to ask. I have no problem stopping and we can talk into them. I might even start doing at the end of lives, to where on TikTok, I can't do it here on YouTube. I'm sorry. Um, Maybe once my StreamYard start working, I can. But where you can actually come up and you can ask questions, it just needs to be related to the reading material. This is not about get to know Jason. This is not, hey, how's Jabu doing? This is about prosperity. This is about the two goals that we all need to be focused on in life. The first one is financial literacy. The second one is financial freedom. So just be aware of that. Okay, this is a quote from John Milton. The mind in itself and in its own place can make a hell out of heaven or a heaven out of hell. Most of us who are living in our own personal hells, it's up here. It's in our mind. Most people who are living in heaven, it's because it's in their mind. They used to live in hell and they was like, look, I'm tired of this life. I want a better life. People, as a rule, can be classified as positive personalities, optimists, or negative personalities, pessimists. Those individuals who are positive in their thoughts always tend to look upon the brighter side of life, with their faces turned toward the sunshine. They attempt to see the good, even in the bad. Such individuals habitually think thoughts of a positive nature, and they are a blessing to the world. They are in a positive vibration, and therefore attract other positive personalities to them. And you can probably attest for this. Like, really think about in your life, who are some of the positive people in your life? How is your attitude when you're around them? How do you feel when you're around them? You feel differently than when you're around someone who's negative. Negative people make you feel like, oh man, why do I want to be around them? Like, even just hearing them talk, it gets on your nerves sometimes. And we have to be aware that it's the vibration of that individual is what we don't like. And for my ladies out there, if you've ever been out somewhere and you just started feeling creeped out, and then you just start looking around and you may see a guy or somebody looking at you, and then you just feel weirded out by them, that is you picking up on their vibration. Hey, what's up with you, Maurice? How's it going, brother? That is when you're picking up on their vibration. When you pick up on people's vibrations, you know exactly what they're thinking, how they feel. You can know if a guy is looking you up and down, sexualizing you. All of this is very common. Even as a guy, if you're a guy, you can tell if a woman's just trying to look at you for money. You can pick up and feel what they're thinking. Even for me, like when people are like, "Oh, how do you stay safe? How do you do this?" Like, I don't hang around people if I don't like your vibration. I don't talk to you. I don't hang around you. Like, I don't owe anybody anything in my life. Like, the people who I choose to be around are people who are of positive vibrations. Like, when we're together, we're laughing, we're having fun. Like, it's a good time. I don't want to be around people who are negative, droopy, mopey. You're just complaining about everything. Like, it doesn't mean like I don't complain with some of my friends, but it's not in a negative, pessimistic point of view. It's you're still more uplifting. You're giving each other's energy instead of sucking each other's energy like vampire energies, those energy vampires, which are negative personalities. Then it says negative personalities, on the other hand, habitually look upon the dark, gloomy, and depressing side of life. So like these are people when you be like, hey, how your day going? Oh man, it could have been better. Oh, it sucks. Oh, this. And it's like, damn, bro, you just woke up. Like, smile, man. Like, go look at the sun. Look how beautiful the sky is. Like, this is all you can talk about is just boring, depressing stuff. And we all know those people. We all know them. Some of them could be friends. Some of them could be family. Some of them could be our partners. Like, we all know those type of people. Even the good holds some bad for them. They dwell on the bad and the negative. They think about it, anticipate it, expect it, and invariably they receive what they have been seeking due to the negative vibration which they keep themselves in. They, of course, attract other miserable personalities to them. As you are already aware, misery loves company. That's where that saying comes from. And here's a funny story. This is how negative I used to be. I remember when I would try something, I eat something or do something. Yeah, stay away from negative Nancy. those little sayings mean something for a reason. I remember when I used to be a very negative person, very extremely negative person. You don't survive war and come out as a positive person right away. You have to learn how to become positive again. And so, like, I was so negative. I remember I used to always be like, if I eat something, someone would be like, "Oh, how is it?" It ain't that bad. And then I remember after I started doing a lot of this self psychology act, and also just changing my personality, like being a positive and a better person. I remember at one point Chantel was like, "Dude, if it ain't that bad," she was like, "That's still pretty negative." And my first thought was, "No, it ain't being negative." And I was like, "No, wait. A positive person would listen to the criticism, and see their point of view." And so I was listening, and then I did some self reflection. I'm like, ain't that bad? One is bad English, and then two, I was like, what does that mean? Ain't that bad? Bad isn't good. Like, I don't want to eat something that's not that bad. Like, I want to eat something that's good, that's tasteful, that brings me enjoyment and excitement. And I had to start changing the way I was using words because our paradigms, even the way we speak and respond to things or critique things, it's a habitual thing that we don't really think about. And because we don't really have to think about it, most of us just don't know how negative we really are. When the most people are like, "Oh, I'm not negative," are usually the most negative people. They just not aware of it. So give them some grace. But that don't mean you got to be in their presence. Their state of mind can be compared to the person who, upon being asked how he felt, said, "I feel all right today, but I might feel bad tomorrow." Now, hearing me read that, that sounds like nonsense, right? But how many people say that? I remember my grandmother, and I love this saying to the day because it's such an old Southern thing. When people be like, used to ask her at one point, "Hey, how you doing, Daisy?" Now I used to call her Big Mama, but they'd be like, "Hey, how you doing, Daisy?" "Oh, baby, I'm good. One foot in the grave and the other one on a banana peel." And it's like, why do the other one got to be on a banana peel? You can't be on some steady ground. And that's how we are, though. Like, a lot of we don't see the positivity of living life. Life is so much fun, man. Life is so enjoyable. Look, I get it. This world sucks. I was complaining not too long ago before I started doing this because, it's been no electricity since. Negative. I gotta be positive. I gotta be positive. No, be real. Be you. Remember the definition of vibration? Let's go back to that. To vibrate means to move backwards and forwards. You're going to go through negative and positive parts of life. There's going to be tough times in your life. You can't stop that. The utopia that the movies try to make us dream about, it doesn't exist. Like you're going to go back and forth. That whole quote of can make hell out of heaven and heaven out of hell, that means something. So it's like, yes, I moved a little bit into a negative perspective because, like, dude, I just wanted to come on to some electricity. I just wanted to come on, be able to get on the computer, do some work, knock out a few things with no issues. But guess what? It wasn't there. So I went to a little negative perspective. So what I did, I talked with a buddy of mine. We were talking, and we started laughing and going through some things. Yeah, you see what I mean? Like you can still be in a negative vibration a little, but you're laughing, you're talking, you're starting to move yourself up. If I would have let myself go into a complete negative place, because I could feel it was going to come there, I wouldn't have been able to do this video. I wouldn't have stayed consistent and stayed with my promise to you, saying I'm gonna do this and talk about something every single day, reading with you and showing you how I actually study every single day. But guess what? Also, I was gonna put myself in a positive vibration. Cause I say, you know what? F it. I'm gonna just go look up a lodge. You know what I was doing? I was looking up a lodge, and then power came on. Like I was like, I'm not gonna let myself go to where I'm just so angry. I'm sitting in the house in the dark, mad, cursing, cursing at Zesco. Damn it, Zambia, why can't you get your electricity? No, I was like, I was just gonna go find a place that has power backup. I found one that was gonna be like 900 kwacha. I have the money to pay for it, and I was gonna go to a lodge. That's what I was gonna do. Like you have to understand there's ways to move yourself forward and backward. It doesn't mean you have to be always positive. You can slip into negativity. It's not going to hurt you. Okay, then it says negative personalities are depressing to everyone around them. Their faces take on the expression in physical form of the negative thoughts which they are holding in their minds. Each day, one can observe such individuals passing on the street. No cheer, no joy radiates from them, just gloom, frowns, and hostility. If you ever take the time to just sit and watch people, I love sitting and watching people, you can see who's happy with their life and who's not happy with their life. You can tell what vibration a person's in. You don't even have to speak to them. You can know how much problems they're going through. You can tell when people are stressed out about money. Once you learn how to regulate your vibration, you can actually start reading the vibration of other people and you'll start understanding what they're going through. You'll be like, oh man, I remember how I felt at that time. I used to mimic my physical expressions used to look like that. I used to walk like that, hunched over with my head down. Like all of those things, every single emotion you have has a whole identity behind it. This is why ego is not the enemy. If you want to change your life, you don't have to destroy your ego. You need to embrace your ego and you need to start destroying certain identities that are holding you back. Identities are tied to emotions. Emotions are energy in motion. So if you have a certain identity or energy that's in motion and it's not one that's going to help you get to where you want to be, you need to get rid of it as soon as possible. You need to destroy it. You need to go to a different emotion and whatever it takes to get there. If you know you got that person you can call and you can kind of vent, but then it's going to turn into something funny and you're going to laugh and talk, even if it's still in a negative viewpoint, but laughing and talking is way better than being angry. Like you're slowly destroying that identity to where it's not becoming in the light. And what I mean by in the light is not becoming the dominant personality over you. Because most people, when we get upset or we get angry, we let that dominant anger emotion take the light. And then it steers and then it goes to 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Then you never know who you're being rude to. That could be the person that might give you the helping hand that you need. Like you have to be aware of that. Remember, vibration is to move backwards and forward. So if you can, once you find yourself in a negative personality, try to start slowly moving yourself to a positive. And laughter is one of the best ways to do it. You can't be angry and laughing at the same time. And then it says, no joy radiates from just gloom, frowns, and hostility. Having created their own hell for themselves, they seem to be happy about. Oh, life ain't that great. Must be nice for you. Those are the type of things they say. The law of polarity and relativity states that for every positive, there is an equal and opposite negative. Therefore, both of these personality types are necessary, so you can develop the awareness to distinguish one from the other. And in that manner, choose the one which will advance you in life. There are sometimes you may need to be negative. Like, you may need to be negative. And what I mean by need to be negative, like, if someone comes to you with a crazy suggestion or something like that, you don't need to follow them. You need to be negative and be like, no, dude, I ain't doing that. You need to frown. You need to get upset. You need to let them know, like, yo, this ain't cool. There are times when negativity is going to push you in the right direction. Like, you don't just be like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to cash this check for you. I'm going to go rob a bank with you. No, I'm not going to do none of that shit. Like, you are on your own. Like, you have to understand negative and positive doesn't mean good and bad. It's personalities, it's polarity. Like, there are times you need to be negative in life. You need to learn how to tell people no. And you give them a very strong no. No. And if they don't understand no, you tell them hell no. Like, I tell people no all the time. Like, it's nothing wrong with doing that. Like, you have to understand this is your life and you have the right to live your life on your terms. You don't owe anybody anything, and you should never be guilted or feel guilty into doing something that's going to make someone else happy. It's about your happiness at the end of the day. And then it's funny, I just said that because here's the next line. You do have free will. You can choose which of these two personality types you wish to adopt. Therefore, if a person is constantly negative but tires of that state, the person may, through awareness and proper effort, change himself into a positive person of individual. You see what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with it. You have free will. Free will is to choose the energy that you choose to vibrate at. That is what free will is. We have the choice to choose what energy we want to vibrate at. Understand this, the law of vibration will give people the awareness they require to make the personality changes they desire. Okay, we're going to stop it there. I think that's a very good stopping point. And what I want to do is I want to just share with you an exercise. What is something that is going on in your life negative? Don't put it in the comments. Just speak it out to yourself. What is something that is going on right now in your life that is negative? We all have negative things that goes on. Like, it's nothing new. Like, even with my life right now, there's still things that are negative. There's things that I can improve on. There's things that I could be more positive in my life. But what is that one thing that is bothering you right now in life? And what I want you to do is write it down. There's going to be 2 steps here. Write it down. And when you write it down, underneath it put, I release you. I release you. And then I want you to burn it. So you're going to write down the one thing that is negative to you in your life right now. Underneath it say, I release you. And burn it. This is a very simple task. You can burn it outside. It's not doing any sacrifices or any silliness. This is moving energy. This is a way to move energy. So this is why you're going to burn it. You're taking it from a physical state and putting it into an ethereal state. You're moving the energy. When you write down that's what's bothering you, you're letting that negative energy outside of your body. Negative energy is in our muscles. That's why we have this thing called muscle memory. It has positive muscle memory. We have negative muscle memory. If you can actually think about something that makes you happy or a person that makes you happy, your whole physical stature is going to change. If you notice, when I'm talking about my big mama, I smile, I laugh, I'm happy because I love her. I miss her so much, man. She was such a wonderful woman. Even when she used to make those diabetic triple layer jelly cakes. Man, sometimes I wish I could go back in the day and talk to them and be like, Big Mom, triple layer jelly cake, where did that one come from? Like, did you not even think about diabetes or stroke back in them days? Like, that's a little obsessive, like triple layer jelly cake. It was delicious back in the day as a kid. I wouldn't dare touch that thing right now. But do you see how my whole body, my face, my vibration changed thinking of that memory of my grandmother? Like, I can go to a sad, somber state, speaking of some memories too, but I don't want to go there. But like, that is because all of those things are in us. Even when people are like, "Oh, how did you be able to get over the death of your wife so quick? Oh, you need to take time and heal." You don't know what I've done. You don't know how much clearing of energy I've done, how much writing down the things that I was angry about for her leaving, the things that I felt horrible about because I wasn't able to save her, like all of these things. And then I burnt them. I released a lot of that energy from my body. And this is one of the best exercises you can do. So take something that is negative in your life right now, write it down on a sheet of paper. It don't matter if it's all white paper, notebook paper. Don't make any big deals about this. Just write it down on a piece of paper. Underneath it, write, "I release you," and burn it. That's it. After you do this, let me know tomorrow, how does it feel? Did you feel weird? Did you feel something coming out of your body? Do you feel happier? Do you not feel indifferent? Indifferent? There's no right or wrong answer here. But like, if this is your first time ever doing something like this, it may not feel like something that's helping you, but you'll be shocked. As you're moving energy through, you're making space for more energy. And so that is the thing about the law of vibration. That is what we went over today. Um, I still have the budgeting tracker for you for anybody that wants to have it. If you're on TikTok, just shoot me a DM and just say budgeting tracker, and I'll send you the link. If you're here on YouTube, just put down below in the comments, "Hey, send me the budgeting tracker, anything," and I will send you the link also. And I'm thinking, I just had a thought while I was doing this today. I think I'm gonna start putting up the third phone, and I think I'm gonna go on IG at the same time also. So let me know what you think about that. And what I'm doing, just to break the fifth wall, I'm doing. It's called omnipresence. When you make yourself omnipresent throughout social media on multiple platforms at the same time, it's a way that you're compounding your efforts, but you're compressing what you're doing. Like, it's becoming like a fist. Here there's a lot of empty space, but once it becomes a fist, it's like it's just punching, punching, punching. And that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing the two lives here. But I think I'm finna go to the three lives and start doing IG also. And remember, also, it's just me starting to utilize all this money I invested in marketing. People don't know how much money I've invested in learning digital marketing and all of these things. But just to give you an update, the books. Let me go get these books. All right. So I've just bought these books today. These are three more books that we will be going over. This one is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Great book. This is The Science of Success by Napoleon Hill. Another wonderful book. And this, oh man, if you truly want to learn how to change your life, get this book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. Now, he was actually a preacher. Dr. Joseph Murphy is probably one of the best writers of The Power of the Subconscious, explaining and breaking down the subconscious mind. If you remember the when I showed you how to change your mind, where I showed you, like, if you take my head, cut it in half, up here is the conscious mind, down here is the subconscious, and then you have the body. He wrote, in his book, speaking and breaking down the subconscious mind, man, if you read this and apply some of these things to your life, you will see results so fast it gets scary. I highly recommend this. And then I'm also going to end up getting his version of the Bible also, with his 21 laws of success and things of that nature. Um, Man, that book was $100. The Bible was $100. So I didn't get it today. I was like, okay, let me get that one next month because what I'm doing. I'm repurchasing my whole library that I used to have. Now that I have permanent residency, and I know once I build my house, I don't have to worry about books toting them around while I'm moving and stuff. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actually rebuilding the entire library from scratch. And you get to study with me as I'm going through it. And so if you have any questions or comments, just leave those down below. And just remember this, I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.